Good morning, friends. Welcome back to our self-sufficient life. In this vlog, we're gonna do lots of cooking and kitchen project again. So if you're interested, you are welcome. I've got my cheat sheet, so I'm gonna go through it, make sure I don't miss out on anything. So couple of days, I vlogged in different kitchen projects. So let's get to it. We are going to make breakfast yogurt. Breakfast yogurt, it's my weekly task regarding to our self-sufficient life. Milk our goat, deal with the milk. You know, I always say I weekly make cheese. Actually, that's tomorrow's job. So I need to make a list for tomorrow. Cheese making. Today in this vlog, we're going to flavor our yogurt, what we've just put in an instant pot, let's say a night before. So I know now I've got about 8 small jar, like a jam jar, in a fridge. So if you haven't got a time for hearty breakfast or just grab and go, or we're not too hungry, we just reach for that breakfast yogurt. We're also going to make fried cheese and chips. Fried cheese and chips, it's one of our staple comfort food on our homestead, purely because we're making cheese, so we always got lots of leftover cheese, and because it's so good, and we've got lots of potatoes as well to use up. It's usually, it's on our menu. So also making breadcrumbs. Past few weeks I've been making lots of bread. I've been experimenting with, grinding the wheat berries, finding lots of flour, whole wheat, all sorts, bread flour needs using up. Then we've done a pantry tour, so I've been making lots of bread. So we ended up with loads. So what we're going to do today, we're going to freeze some of it. I'll show you how I do it, turn it into breadcrumbs, actually, which is just right behind me, and it's very close to be ready. And we're making croutons. So yeah, that's going to be one of the things. Also, we're going to make roasted pepper soup, a creamy roasted pepper soup. So finally I'm starting to dig in our freezer. So I found this massive bag of mixed pepper from actually a couple of years ago. So I've roasted it. I went to the pantry, I grabbed some marinara sauce, couple of pint of chicken stock, few bits and bob, freeze-dried basil, onion, garlic, and I've put together a delicious soup. What I've served last night with croutons, and today actually I'm thinking of using up to that soup I think it's a rice noodle. I think that would go really well. Also, I took out some bacon and burger from the freezer. So we had one of the night we had burger and chips and bacon. One of our breakfast we had, but it's not gonna be in a vlog, I'm just telling you, I wasn't filming it, but we had a couple of morning as a brunch, fried egg and bacon with our flatbread, what we've made last week, because our girls now started laying. There was one day I've collected 10 eggs already, so we're back in the business with the egg, regarding to the eggs. So yeah, most of the day we're gonna be in a kitchen. That's gonna be today. If you're interested, you are welcome, friends. Let's go watch the vlog. Good morning, friends. I am making dinner, fried cheese and chips again, purely because all this cheese needs using up and mayonnaise needs using up. So I have got some milled flour here, some sourdough breadcrumbs, get it out, sourdough breadcrumbs, and we're gonna have 1 egg to put in here, and we're ready to go. Okay, we're gonna have it chips from the pantry, and that's it, friends. So I've decided to cut the cheese in like a small chunks this time, lots of them. So we do those first.
Just give them a good coating of this flour before I'm gonna drop it to the egg mixture. Put some salt. And I think that's all I do for today. So that's it. It is about 2 o'clock lunchtime, so I'm not gonna fry this just yet, but I'm just gonna get it ready. So get it ready for frying, and I'm gonna fry this in lard today. And I'm just gonna peel and cut the potatoes, put some oil on it and salt, get that ready as well. We've just used up all the bean soup. I've put some to the holiday box, so we've got a portion each with some sausage, and we've just finished off for lunch the soup today. We've still got a little bit of sausage left with the sauerkraut, what we're probably gonna have tomorrow, but today I've decided to make the fried cheese and chips. And also, after I do this, we literally run out of breakfast yogurt, and I'm going to make breakfast yogurt next, friends. I think I'm gonna use up this salami as well. We're going to experiment to fry those as well, purely because I just want to use it up now. Okay, this sourdough breadcrumbs, it's very fine. We've done it in a coffee grinder. Sounds like a cheese schnitzel, this is. We've got so much bread left, but actually we need to freeze some bread, and whatever we don't want to freeze, perhaps we can make some more breadcrumbs with it, because that will last for a while in a fridge. I mean, we still got quite a bit, but because I've made so many bread past 10 days, we've got loads of bread. I'm making lately the wholemeal bread, so that's gonna probably give different texture and taste to our sourdough breadcrumbs. It's a little bit a fiddly job, but it's one of our favorite comfort meal, and because we've got all the ingredients right here at home, it's part of our meal. I reckon about a couple of times a month. And you know what, friends? It is 30th of January today, and we haven't even made a dent in our pantry and freezer for the pantry challenge. So, but you know we're gonna do it all year round. So as soon as we come back from holiday, we gonna make some serious plan. We go down weekly to the pantry, freezers, and making delicious meal while we already sow in seeds, because this week it's February, so we've got another month of this winter before the spring rush, and then we're gonna be so busy in a garden. Actually, what I wanted to do, and I'm going to do that today, I'm gonna bring the carder and my spinner machine in. I need to find a room somewhere in a house, ideally in my office, and I really would like to start processing our alpaca fleece. And some of them what's got like twigs and dirt on it, I really would like to, before we go on holiday, cover some of the raised beds, especially the perennial beds, with the alpaca fleece to protect them from the frost. Especially with those beautiful gladioli and dahlia bulbs, what I've never had the chance to dig up. Never got to it last year. So yeah, busy. Chickens started laying, so I've got now quite a bit of eggs coming in, and I'm really excited about that. So we're gonna utilize all those lovely eggs in our recipes very soon. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on our self-sufficient life in England, where we're not going to the grocery store for the rest of the year. But we try to have a hearty meal for me and my family, what we can produce on a farm. I'm gonna fry a bit of this salami. I remember my grandma used to do this. Fried salami, it was delicious. So that's gonna bring me back some memories. So that's done. Let's go and tackle the breakfast yogurt. Okay, I am now on my next job. And while I remembered it first, it's always good to remember at the beginning than in the end. I need to put some aside, some yogurt for the next batch. That's perfect. And I'm just deciding on what flavorings we're gonna use up. So I've got some raisin needs to be used up, some chopped nuts, the peanut butter, what we've made together. I've got some applesauce, I've got some honey and oat, obviously the yogurt, and maybe some cinnamon. So I just go and grab the cinnamon and I put this yogurt to the fridge for the next time, for next week. And I think we're ready to go. So let's put a little bit of the yogurt in the bottom of each pot jar, and then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Let's start with this 3 jar, and let's add some applesauce next. So good. This from some leftovers what I've made for my little godson. Let's just use up a bit as we go. Next step. Oh, that peanut butter, it does smell good though. Oh, it's very hard. And just add as we go, friends. I am just eyeballing all these ingredients. Next we can add some nuts. Bit of raisin. Currant needs to be used up. Okay, now we can add some more yogurt. Oh shoot, we just made a mess, friends. I'm gonna tidy up my mess. And then we add some cinnamon. A little bit of cinnamon. And some honey. Let me just tidy up my mess because I'm gonna step in it in a minute. Okay, wash my hands. And now we are adding some of that oat. And fill it up with yogurt. And I think I'm gonna call this as done. And I'm gonna fill up exactly the same the rest of the little jars. So let's just cover this first. with some more yogurt. Just before we do that, I think I'm just gonna give it a good mix. Mix all the ingredients together, so we know how far up we can then fill it up with some more yogurt. And our breakfast yogurt is done, friends. I'm just gonna put them all into the fridge. And let's go to a next project. We're going to sort out the bread. Some we're gonna make breadcrumbs with, and some goes to the freezer. And that's our breakfast yogurt, friends. All the yogurt is now done, so I'm now on to bread project. So what we're gonna do in here, I'm going to slice the bread slightly, and then we're going to blitz it in my blender a little bit just to break it up, and then dry it behind me on the aga in a big and large baking tray. I will wash these and reuse them. And then when it's fully dry in about a couple of days, then we can blitz it again for the finer texture using coffee grinder and put it in a mason jar, and I leave the ready sourdough breadcrumbs then in the fridge until we need it to use it up. Like for today we use up in making fried cheese. So the rest of the bread, these two bread, I've made this yesterday. Probably I've got some in here as well. I'll leave one out in a fridge so we can use that up in the upcoming days. And then I'm going to freeze the rest. Okay, so well, these ones, I think the better bit in the middle we can freeze this. Or you know what? I'll make a breadcrumbs with all that. Got so much bread. We're going on holiday next week, so we don't need, to be honest, bread now. And I don't want to get any of it wasted, so we need to deal with it now. So I'll dry this completely, and then when it's completely dry, I'm gonna put it through a coffee grinder for this nice, powdery, very fine texture. Okay, I think we're gonna have a lot of breadcrumbs, friends. I think we've got plenty now. I'll just leave it here to dry out completely. This one can still go. I can make some croutons, actually. But with these ones, I'm gonna put them to the freezer, sliced up like that. It's just easier to toast it when it's sliced up. So if I just, this is very nice and soft actually. When I take it out of the freezer and toast it, it's really lovely. So that's what I'm gonna do probably. Flash freeze these first and then put them back in a zippy bag. And we can make some croutons with these, the rest. That's what I'm gonna do. Flash freeze these. Can go to the freezer, friends, and with this we can make croutons. So I'm just going to slice them up. I have planned another big cooking freezer meal day, so I've took some burgers out of the freezer and some bacon. So we're gonna fry this up, and that's gonna be tonight's dinner, burger and chips. Another thing we're doing, I just took out, that was from a couple of years ago, mixed peppers in a bag in the freezer. I've just roasted it. The whole kitchen smells divine. So I'm going to turn this as a roasted pepper and tomato soup. The tomato bit in it is going to be the oven roasted marinara sauce, and I've also took out 2 jars of chicken broth. That's going to be part of the soup ingredients, as well as some shallots I've just peeled from last year's garden, and I've also got ready some last year's garden garlic, and I've just noticed that actually half of it now it's shriveled up. So it's never get past for me that January time. So that's why I like to, you know, put it in the freezer or make garlic powder with it. Because leaving it fresh for me, I know it's in the kitchen and it's warm in here, but it doesn't last too long. I've also got some cream cheese and some mascarpone to make it as a creamy soup. So that's the plan. So we're gonna use up some salt and pepper as a seasoning, and I'm gonna use up my basil, freeze-dried basil, as an extra flavor for the soup. So my next job is now to get a pot, and I'm going to put everything in a pot. First thing first, I'm probably gonna chop and saute the shallots with the garlic, and then we're gonna put the pepper in, and then the roasted marinara, the broth, salt and pepper, and we're gonna bring it up to a boil, blitz it, and then season it with basil and extra salt and pepper if needed. And that's it, friends. And later on, we're just gonna deal with the burger and the bacon and the chips. When I remember, a couple of times a day, I just give these breadcrumbs a little stir so it dries all over. Now this will need, it's a lot in here, probably will need another full day So just for now, because we are going to use this area of the oven, I'm going to remove this for a bit. And I'll bring you closer to show you how nicely these peppers roasted up. And that's now today, finally, we got into like a proper, kind of like a freezer pantry meal way, because the mixed pepper is from the freezer, broth, marinara sauce is from the pantry, shallots, garlic, pantry, bacon, burger from the freezer. So we're working our way through the inside freezers first before we tackle the outside freezers. So let's do this. In a sink, I've already peeled and washed the potatoes. That's gonna be for the chips for later with the burger. And I've got some dog food out, that liver and rice and carrot and peas. And I've also got out some of the apple juice from the freezer. So I'm gonna leave this in here until it defrosts before we're going to put it back to the fridge. Look how nicely this pepper roasted, and honestly it smells so good. Smells really, really yummy. So just put some lard in this pan, and I chopped up the shallots. I'm gonna saute this for a few minutes before I add the garlic and all these lovely peppers. I'm not sure if these are spicy or not spicy. We'll find out in a soup. Smells so good. I'm ready to add the marinara sauce and the 2 broth. I'm gonna season it with salt and pepper and cover it back up until it all comes to a boil. I like to add a little bit of water so we can get as much out of the jar as possible. Give it a good mix. I'm going to add some basil. Just crunch it up. And as soon as it comes to a boil, this soup is ready. I'm gonna wait a touch, and then we're going to blitz the soup, and we're going to put the cream cheese and a mascarpone in, and we're gonna have a taste test.
Okay, we just made this delicious soup. It was so yummy. We had it with croutons today, and we're going to have it with rice noodles tomorrow. The only thing I will do different next time, when I roasted all that lovely peppers from the freezer in a baking tray, I probably would put some broth over it in a pan, bring it up to a boil, leave it to cool down a bit, and strain it through to remove the skin and the seeds. Everything else, it's perfect. So what a lovely cooking day. Couple of cooking days we've just had. I really hope you enjoyed spending time with me today as I bring you along on our self-sufficient life, how I try to make hearty, delicious food from what I actually can grow or the animals what we can raise without visiting a grocery store. And it's only January, but I'm hoping we can carry on doing this till the rest of the year. So if you're interested, you are welcome, friends. The breadcrumbs turned out amazing. It's actually just dried up now, so I'm going to put it through a coffee grinder and jar it up and leave it in a fridge. You can also freeze it. Well, I'll hope you all have a wonderful day and see you very soon. Bye, friends.